Good morning. Next day, the 50 to 200 millimeter f2.8 Olympic or OM systems, the Amzuko Digital IS Pro. Great lens. I love it. I'd also like to show you, which I didn't show yesterday, move your polarizer and stuff underneath. All white build, metal, plastic right here, but top of the line. And I use it on two different camera systems. So usually the OM1-MII, and I do have it digitally cropped on this one. And then I also did it on the Panasonic G9II, and I also had it cropped. So I had an extra, what, 287 millimeters plus 87. Okay. So what this video is about is I'm going to show you some pictures, the picture quality of how good both camera systems are, even if they are micro four thirds. I'm looking for sharpness. I'm looking for, I did have it on bird, but no birds would show up, especially when this guy is always trying to catch him in the act doing something. So the only time I can sneak up on them is around the car and when they're in the bird bath and they don't see me. But I think they know all my moves. And anyway, let's get to the photo slideshow. I want to describe what I did in both camera systems. This is with the Panasonic G9II. I did not have a teleconverter. I used a digital kind of like converter, which added quite a few meters to each image. I don't know how it did on the OM system, but it gave me 287 extra for the Panasonic G9II. So if I just go down to each one, you see me take shots of this all the time. See a little. Now the G9II is a 25 megapixel camera. So 5 megapixels does make a difference from 20, but with the stabilization on the OM System 1 or OM1-MII, it was excellent. So I think it was better stabilized since it's an OM system lens on the camera. But it did pretty good on the G9II, 5.5 stops. Even if the lens stabilization didn't work with the camera, it did a pretty good job. But look at this. I call this my popcorn tree because when it starts blooming, you can see the seeds, and then they pop, and then the flowers are coming out early this year instead of late July or early August with all the rain we've been having. And you can see the old ones. So, and this is pretty high up too on the tree. Tree's very tall. Yeah, I just got different shots. I wanted to show you the bokeh in the background. It's unreal. Wonderful pictures. And then you can see the new seedlings, they're going to pop shortly. And of course, it's an overcast day, so we're going to expect some more rain again. I don't mind the rain just as long as it keeps the weather cooler. It did get down. It said that there's no rain chance. So I was on my way home after getting this lens, and then it downpoured. So my suggestion is trust your instincts. Stick your head out of the window, and if you see raining, just the weatherman could be wrong. All right, they said, "Oh, it's going to rain, but it may not be in your area." So That's my take on it. But now look at these flowers. It's just gorgeous. And I was looking at the app on my cell phone, so that could have been nationally based, not locally. And then, of course, I had to do my red crepe myrtle, the new tree that I planted this year, or had planted. Now, I had a little seat that I carry around with me. I'm trying to think, something photography, and he uses it all the time. But it's kind of hard to get down and then get back up on that green thing. So this is my wife's old stroller, and we got it at Walgreens. So when she was in rehab and stuff, I used this to push her around. This is, if you lock the wheels down, this is the most stable seat to hand hold. And I did not use a tripod for any of them. And of course, I had to do my Yorkie at the end. I'll go here. Now, this is the OM1-MII, and trying to get as close as possible at the 400 millimeter is right here. And you can see it can do bokeh also. And I thought I'd get quite a few close shots. See where it's sharp and then it just blurs. This is only like a quarter of an inch away. All right, this stuff. So I wanted to show off that with Micro Four Thirds, yes, you can have sharp pictures. Okay, and all these are gonna pop out. I call them my popcorn tree. And then, of course, in the light conditions, dark. This is a plant across the street. And this is at the hospital. So even with the digital teleconverter and with this lens, I can see close up the workers in the hospital. They're cleaning the outside and they're finishing up, the landscaping and stuff. They're still doing some things with the windows right here, but they're moving along quite a bit. So hopefully they'll be done by the end of the month, if not next month. So they got a lot of dirt in that parking lot. I'm going to try to get some of it for my dish. But look at the flowers, and the buds, more buds coming. These are already popped. But you notice there's no leaves on it. So what I think this is from is before I put the little fence up to protect the tree, the deers ate the leaves off of this. So I hope this branch isn't dead, but we'll find out. I got to learn how to prune crepe myrtles. But look at this. It's just gorgeous. And that's what this video is about, with the no teleconverter, just the 100 to 400, or in this case, the 50 to 200 millimeter at f2.8. Aperture priority mode on both cameras. Look at it. Spectacular. That's all I can say. And then once I edit these and put it in a slideshow, this is reflection at 400 millimeters, digitally cropped from the bird bath. And that's just a reflection. I should have used a polarizer, but I didn't. But, look at all the light bulbs. So most of the other cameras that I had a hard time focusing on these light bulbs. And you see, they're crystal clear. And then this is the back of the popcorn tree in the front yard. I was in the backyard getting eaten alive with mosquitoes, but this time I used off, so it's not as bad. So what do you think? I think it's well worth it. Okay. Light, it's not even 3 pounds. Okay. Even with the hood and stuff, I got this on the lens cap on. Camera. Um, uh, Lens might be a little bit heavier than the cameras. Panasonic G9II weighs less than the OM1-MII, but it worked. All right. More stabilization on the OM1-II because that's a native lens to OM systems. But the G9II has 5 stops and it still worked perfectly with the lens. Okay. And they're both digitally cropped to give me that extra reach. And that's what I want to show you is even when you crop it in, the pictures look spectacular. And you can talk to a lot of old timers where they had to deal with 12 megapixels, 16, no problem. Micro Four Thirds used to be 16 all the time. And Panasonic upgraded to 25 and the OM1 still at 20, but it's a BSI, a stacked sensor, not the G9II or the G87, but there's great advantages for both systems. Micro Four Thirds, they can share lenses. Some work better than others, depending if they're native or not. And I love the lens. It reminds me of the Canon 100 to 400. It was small. It was like a 4.5 to a 7.1, or it could have been like a 5.6 or 7.1. I could carry that around, and I didn't mind if the aperture was down on that. This is what this reminds me of, but I think I can get, I could digitally crop on the Canon system too with the R6 II, the R8 when I used it. I couldn't do it with the R5 II, but 100 to 400 is excellent. I got it for the Nikon, the Z8, the ZF, um, the ZR if I wanted to use it. But I got the teleconverters also for that. So the 1.4 is coming in, and I'm getting that. And I'm going to try just the 1.4 because 2, you get a little distortion, a little, it's not up to standards mainly on most systems, but you can get away with it. Try to do macro photography with a 2x teleconverter. You just have light in front, get the right lens. So I am looking at the 16 millimeter Olympus, but also the 90 millimeter, which is the upgrade. So 90 millimeters, 180. I just sent a 150 millimeter crop sensor macro lens to Peter Gregg to have him try it out. And the macro capabilities on that lens is fantastic. And I never even heard of IRIX before, IRIX. But this is just a quick show of what you can do with um, when you crop in. So anyway, I'm happy with the lens. Happy I got it. I love it to pieces because the cameras aren't heavy. The lens are small. This is built like a tank. And, G9II, G87, I love the way their menu systems are and stuff. I have to get used to the OM1, but it's not bad. So anyway, thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful day.